Hello everyone, happy Friday. How are you guys doing today? I am coming at you live today with the Anyone Can Playwrite podcast, where our motto is anyone can playwright, right? This is the Adult Play Therapy podcast, and I just hope that you guys are having an awesome and amazing day. This has been an amazing and fantastic week for you. Hi Greta _Gremlin_official. Thank you so much for joining. So guys, I am so super excited. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I am excited because we have a phenomenal guest today. I mean, quite honestly, anyone who I speak to, I regard as phenomenal. I love their work. I love their collection. I love what they're doing in our doll community and just how they play right. It is so exciting to be able to talk to Don't Touch My Toys today. I have admired her work for the whole time that I have been a member of our community. So it is truly an awesome and amazing blessing to me to be able to speak to her. Hi, how are you? I'm doing well today. Thank you for asking. I am having a very good day, a very blessed day. I can't complain at all. I thank you so much for asking. So guys, I want to go ahead and give her the introduction that she's worthy of. All right. Do not touch my toys. Has a groovy, yes, I did. I wrote this out. I wrote this out because I wanted to introduce her properly. Okay? Don't Touch My Toys has a groovy and legit, all-out, fun way of authentically expressing her story through the art form of play. She is an avid doll collector, hobbyist, movie watcher, gamer, and a true audiophile. And we can find this in her love of the diverse music that she displays and plays during her reels and her stories. At the heart of her passion is her love for her family, her mom, her husband, her daughter, her dogs. Her account isn't just about dolls, but a journey in her life. We travel with her to the flea markets, the thrift stores, the swap meets, and estate sales. These fabulous excursions are often recorded with an outrageously catchy music track that brings back times of nostalgia. Don't Touch My Toys is the reminder to have fun in life, to appreciate and value those around you, enjoy your hobby to the fullest, and rock on. I am so excited, and I will totally do this introduction again when she logs on, but I am so excited to be able to share this moment with you guys. I'm gonna type her in right now today, and I really do hope that you guys are able to feel the vibe that's being put out. So today's Friday, and I'm hoping that you guys got a chance to really have some playtime. I got a minimal amount of playtime because it was a busy week. But hey, it's the weekend. And I've already told husband and family, I'm like, I'm playing today. I'm playing before this weekend is out. I am definitely going to be taking some photos. Hi, Cosmo the doll. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. So I am definitely going to be doing some playtime this weekend. I need it. It's such a stress reliever, you know, when you look back at being a kid, it was automatic to play, right? And then we got older, didn't play, you know, responsibilities took over. So what's life? But I'm really, really appreciative to be able to have this conversation. So guys, I'm sitting up here looking at these notes and just wanting you guys to know, thank you so much, Barbie Day, for joining. Looking at these notes and just really excited. Hi, how are you, CC Ox? Thank you for joining. I'm waiting on my Wednesday doll and fashion pack to arrive. There you go. There you go. How are you guys feeling about this new space age cowgirl or cowboy cowgirl that they have out? I'm really excited about her. She seems pretty groovy. I totally believe that she's modeled off of Carter. You know what I mean? Like a specific person. And I was hoping that they would maybe make her look like a Beyonce Carter doll, but she doesn't. I love her freckles though. Anybody who knows me knows that I usually am always the one that writes in the comments about freckles and like put freckles on it. I love the freckles. My husband has freckles and I adore it. I always wanted freckles growing up. I didn't get it. It's okay. But he has it. So, I'm like, hey, I'll take it. I love your content. I wish more people did this. Oh man, blessings. Thank you so much. I love it. I love it. Really this came out of just admiring accounts that really bring that extra that pizzazz. That's just playing and enjoying the moment. And just like allowing the creativity to be displayed. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to connect with these people. I got to be able to talk to them. And in so many ways, it's been an awesome blessing. Like sometimes I invite people, sometimes they contact me and they're like, hey, let me go ahead and have this conversation with you. And I tell you, it's been awesome. Greta underscore Gremlin underscore official said, I love that Barbie. I love her face sculpt. I'm not supposed to say this. I have inside info on the Mattel Beyonce Barbie is happening. I'm sorry if I read that aloud. I don't know if I was supposed to even read that aloud, but I'm glad to know that it's about to happen. Hey, don't touch my toys. How are you doing? So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and invite Do Not Touch My Toys to our chat, to our conversation. I will do the introduction again so anyone who's joined afterwards can hear it. Oh my God!
Hi.
Girl.
How's it going?
So
Happy
enjoy.
Friday.
Oh my gosh, happy Friday to you too. I got my cup too. I know,
Yeah,
right?
gotta stay hydrated, you know.
There you go. That's the same thing here. I don't really know if my drink is for hydration
Yes.
or just like the end of the week blast.
Yes.
But I'm so glad to see you. I thank you for your yes. It
Of
is so awesome being able
course.
to have this conversation with you. I am totally fangirling. I'm not going to lie. Oh my
I'm
goodness. Okay, so
excited
I
to be here.
I am excited that you're here. And anyone who is joining, thank you so much for joining as well. I'm going to go ahead and read my introduction again that I have for you, just for anyone who doesn't know about your account, because they need to join. If you want to be able to know about fun and play, they need to be able to join your account. And also, she has the Don't Touch My Toys sales account, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So just in case you guys want some groovy toys to be able to purchase, she has those for claim as well. So Don't Touch My Toys has a groovy and legit all-out fun way of authentically expressing her story through the art form of play. She is an avid doll collector, hobbyist, movie watcher, gamer, and a true audiophile found in her love of diverse music. At the heart of her passion is her love for her family, her mom, her husband, her daughter, and her dogs. Her account isn't just about dolls, but a journey in her life. We travel with her to the flea markets, to the thrift stores, to swap meets and estate sales, even tattoo parlors, right? These fabulous excursions are often recorded with an outrageously catchy music track that brings back times of nostalgia. Don't touch my toys is the reminder to have fun in life, to appreciate and value those around you. Enjoy your hobby to the fullest and rock on. Would you say that that captures you?
Oh my gosh, I think that you really hyped me up in that, and I appreciate that. Thank you so
Oh my,
much.
I told you, I'm like, I'm fangirling right now. I love your account. I love your account from the very first time. Just to share a quick little story about how I became an avid you know, member of the Don't Touch My Toys community was the one reel that you had. I don't even know if we called them reels back then. But nonetheless, it was the reel that you had, and there was the orchestra, and they were playing their instruments to a Jay-Z
Yes.
track. And I'm an
Yeah.
orchestra girl, right? So I'm like, man, I
Oh.
we play that, but it was so freaking hype. I loved it. I loved it. And now you look back and you fast forward and you had the one with the My Goodies from Sierra with the strip club. I was like, hey. I showed
Yeah.
it to my mom the other day and she was just like, what?
That's too funny.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I was like, yes, yes. So I love that. So I thank you again for joining me. And I have to start this off with How was your day?
Today was pretty good. It's Friday. It's my
Yeah.
favorite day because it's my last day of the work week. So, yeah, I can't complain. How about yours?
Oh gosh, it was really, really good. I same here. I can't complain. It's Friday. Husband was home, and I mean, like, I'm sure that you can like understand it by that's my best friend. So I was just like excited. Anytime it's Friday, that's his off day. That's also a day of planning because he also is an independent fitness instructor, fitness
Oh,
personal
wow.
fitness instructor. So that's his day of planning, but it's also my day just to be with hubby. So
Yeah.
So I was definitely excited about today. And then, of course, our conversation. So that was a highlight. I do have to ask you,
Mhm.
and I've asked you this once, but just so that everyone else can also know, what made you choose the name Don't Touch My Toys?
I just thought it was funny because I'm an only child and I grew up and didn't have siblings to really play with. I really didn't have like cousins or anybody coming frequently to my house. So
Yeah.
I just wasn't used to sharing my toys because it was just me. And so I remember being a little kid, and whenever I did have somebody come and visit, I was very particular about my toys because I wasn't one of those kids that was destructive, that cut dolls' hair or wrote on them. And so when people would come to my house and play with my toys and they were rough with them, I would get really upset. Like, I'm talking like 4 years old and like going to my mom complaining, like, Mom, they messed up my doll's hair, and Mom, they did this. And so I just thought it was really appropriate for me, as an homage to my childhood, to be like, don't touch my toys, because yeah, I am. Now I don't have kids come to my house or anything. And I think if an adult collector came and was like touching stuff, it wouldn't really bother me, but you know how children play. It can be destructive. Hi,
Yes.
Owen.
Yes, yes, I totally understand. And I'm an only child too, so I feel the vibe.
Yeah.
An only child, husband, I hooked up, we got 10 kids. So for me, I still kind of go through that. And my girls are very respectful. I'm like, don't touch my stuff. I won't touch yours. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very
Yeah.
respectful of their stuff. And I do require them to be respectful of my stuff as we share a Barbie room. So I'm just like,
Ah.
don't touch it. And
Oh,
they
my
do.
mother-in-law is here. Uh,
Awesome.
Hi, Mary.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love it. I love it. And I love where your name comes from. Were you a Barbie girl growing up? And I think you pretty much already answered that.
Yeah, I definitely was. I think as a child, because I didn't have like other playmates and stuff, I really gravitated to like any type of toy or activity that could reenact real life situations. So
Yeah.
Barbie was huge. A lot of role playing stuff, like whenever the neighbors would come over, we would play games like let's play house, let's play cops and robbers. Like it was always like some sort of like, creative role that we would play. And I just Barbie was amazing to play by myself because I didn't have to have a friend be here. I could just create all
Yeah.
these different, scenarios and stuff in my head and act it out by
Yes.
myself with my dolls.
Yes. Exactly. I so feel that. And we see your storylines like play out
Yeah.
during your reels and
I'm still
and just your
delusional as
photo
an adult.
period. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now, where do you get your storylines from?
Um, Honestly, I try to do stuff that I think is funny. I mean, stuff that'll make me like laugh a bit, and things that I don't see like so saturated already on the Instagram. Um, Something that's different, something that people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, that's hilarious!" Like, wow, and a lot of times I'm inspired by all sorts of different stuff. It could be a movie I've watched. It could be a memory I have from childhood. It could be a
Yeah.
song that's inspired something. Like with the whole strip club scene, um, that song came on Sirius Radio the other day, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't heard this in forever. And the immediate thought is like, a strip club. And so I was like, you know what? I haven't done a strip club video in a long time. And I even went into my notes on my phone and I was like, Instagram idea. Sierra
I
Goodies
love
strip club,
it.
and I wrote down the different stuff that I wanted to shoot while it was still fresh in my mind. That way, maybe I wasn't going to do it right away, but later on down the line when I was on like a creative funk, I could, you know, have the ideas already set out for myself.
I love that you said that because one of my questions was going to be, what is your process for being able to write down your ideas and your concepts for your stories? Because I love with your particular reels and with your account, you you're able to like showcase that story in one post and then you go to something else.
Hmm.
So I was going to ask you, what is your process? And you answered that in so many ways.
I have so many notes right now on my phone for ideas that I haven't done yet. Some of them require a lot more effort than others. So it just depends on how much time I have and how motivated I am to do it. So with the one with the goodies, I was like, "Oh, I'm doing this weekend." And I waited for 2 weeks to do that. I had that idea
Oh,
2 weeks ago and I just didn't have the time to do it, but I wanted to do it on a weekend. I did not want to post that on like a Monday. I wanted it to fit the weekend vibe, so I waited until that Saturday and I told my husband, I said, "Okay, I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to do a video." And so he already knew, "Okay, goodbye. I'm not going to see you till tomorrow." And pretty much, yeah, I stayed up till like 2 o'clock in the morning until I was happy with what I did.
wow. And I have to ask, how in the world did you get homegirl to stay on the pole? And I know I did see the behind the scenes with the screwdriver. Were you just like spinning that screwdriver and filming?
So the last time I shot a little clip of a strip club, I did the same thing with the screwdriver and her spinning. It wasn't as good last time, but I had my
And you used a different
husband.
doll. You didn't use Barbie.
Right, no, I didn't. Because the one doll that I'm using, she has like she's well endowed and she's a Takara doll. So I knew I wanted to use her. And the last time I did it, I actually had my husband help me. So
Oh,
I think he was spinning the screwdriver and I was filming it. And this time he went to sleep. So I was like, no, I really want to finish this tonight. But it was getting late. So I said, you know what? I have to figure out a way to do this. That way he's not getting irritated with me for keeping him in my room and having him do it over and over and over. So basically, I used tape and gravity to keep it in place. And I put my phone on a tripod and I was just spinning it while my phone was on the tripod. So
wow.
yeah.
Wow. I tell you, if in fact Dolls had another life, she was definitely a stripper in another life because she held on. She got it done. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that is so awesome.
Yeah.
Now, would you say when it comes to the different posts that you make, the different storylines with those posts, are you hearing the characters from, the voices of your characters, or is it the music that's inspiring you to create the reels that you do?
It just depends. It's all case by case. Like with some of my stories that I've done in the past or skits, I don't even really do, I wouldn't call it, I mean, it is a story, but it's a story without narration, I guess you could say. Sometimes I'm just doing like a clip, you know, but there's no like, actual words or anything in it. It's just like leave it up to your own imagination. And sometimes some of those skits that I do, I pull from actual real life scenarios or memories. Sometimes it's just like me being delusional and making up this whole like little scene in my head. Like with the strip club, I mean, I've never been a stripper, but I've gone to a lot of strip clubs, so I know what I've seen and
Yeah,
memories and stuff. And I just thought that would be so funny.
I
I was
love
like, oh my God, I'm
it.
gonna have her click her heels at the beach. Like I already knew, and I wrote that stuff down. I was like, we have to have a bouncer. We have to have somebody getting escorted out for being rowdy. Like, I had these little ideas, but that's not something that, I personally had like a storyline on. It's just stuff that I've observed over the years.
I love that. I love that because even I'm thinking even of the one that you had with the bad boys with
Oh,
the cop,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
and
and
they're
see that
arranging
one.
people at different venues,
Yeah, that
and it
one,
ends
I
with them
mean,
getting donuts.
yeah, I pulled different stuff from that one. I used to work in retail, so people would get caught shoplifting all the time. And so I was like, oh, I have to have a shoplifter for sure. And this was also like, I was almost scared to post that, just because during the time that I posted that, it was when a lot of crazy stuff was going on, with, obviously, this has never stopped, but the media was focused on all cops are bad movement during that time. And I really didn't want to post it because I just thought that even though I was bringing like nothing that was actually relative to what was going on in the real world, I didn't want people to be like, all cops are bad and just like putting it all throughout my feed. So thankfully nobody did. I think maybe one person commented that, but I didn't get a lot of negative feedback. Honestly, I don't get much negative feedback on my content, which I think is great because I know some of the stuff that I post can sometimes be like people can take offense to it. But I feel like most of the people that follow my account by now already kind of get my sense of humor and the lightness of the skits and stuff that I do. So like if they follow me, usually they're not super like, they know that I'm not a child account. They know I'm an adult with adult themes. So
That's it. That's it. And I love the way that you deliver your content. I've never, even in the midst of everything that was going on in our society, when I saw the ones, the reels that you had with the cops, I never did take it in a bad way, because one of the things that you have that backs you up is that you also have reels where you feature career dolls and the different
yes.
careers that they do. And I love how you do that. It's so exciting. The fact of being that you've handcrafted, I'm totally going off a script right now, but the fact that you've handcrafted so many of your dioramas is like beyond me. How long does it take to craft your dioramas? I mean, just like one, when you're like, I'm gonna make a blockbuster, reel, or you're going to make the Wu-Tang Clan reel, and you use the ice cream truck. Like, how long does that take?
Um, the problem that I have with crafts and stuff like that is that I get laser focused when I have a vision and once I actually start it. And that's why like a lot of those ideas I have on my phone for content, I haven't done them yet because I really have to have time to dedicate to it because I'm one of those people that I don't like unfinished projects. It may take me forever to start the project, but once I start it, it's going to be top priority. Everything else goes out the window. And unfortunately, like it's good and it's bad because, and my family knows this because once I start on something, they're like, okay, well, don't ask her for anything because she is focused on getting her little diorama finished. So she's not cooking all week, you know? And so with the blockbuster, I knew I wanted to do it. And I remember sharing that with my friends, and I think this was still during lockdown. And my friends were like, girl, that's going to take you a while. And I said, I don't think it's going to be that bad. And then when I started it, I was like, oh my God, this was so much more than I thought it was going to be. It's not a complex diorama, but all the little components to make it, like all those VHS tapes, I can't remember, but I think there's like almost 200 VHS tapes that I had to make. So that one took me a solid week. Most of the ones that I do are very simple dioramas that don't take more than like a day, but that one definitely took me a week. The Wu-Tang truck took me a week. I did the Wu-Tang truck at least, I don't know, 3 different times I had to start over because my measurements were not accurate and it wasn't lining up properly. So I did a lot of trial and error with that. But yeah, I'd say about a solid week has been the longest. But keep in mind that most of my dioramas are very intermediate compared to some of the diorama artists out there that like use resin and actual woodworkings and stuff like that. All of my stuff is usually just paper crafts and cardboard and things like that, simple stuff.
Still, I mean, like, that's still a whole lot to do, in my opinion. A whole lot. I applaud you for being able to do what you do. And I'm pretty sure I actually expected you to say a lot longer, quite honestly. So a whole week is quite phenomenal. Now, when you talk about being able to, make these dioramas, and being able to spend a week. Are you doing this at night as well?
Yes. And also keep in mind that I don't have small children at home. Like during the Blockbuster diorama and the Wu-Tang, my daughter was living with us, but she was already like 17, 18 years old. So she's self-sufficient, and my husband, I mean, he can be self-sufficient as well. So I have a lot more time that I can dedicate to my crafts. um like I said, I don't do them unless I know it's a good week for me to do that, because my family's basically going to fend for themselves until I'm finished with my project, and they realize that.
Mhm.
So
I love that you said that.
yeah, so I have a lot more time than the average person. Once I get off of work, if I want to work on a diorama, I can dedicate from, 4 to 2 a.m. on my diorama if I really wanted to.
I like that. And I like that you said that because I am somebody who has a whole bunch of kids and I'm like, I wish I could do that. And then, you have to make food and I'm homeschooling too. So it's like, So for any of us that see your page and your dioramas and we're like trying to force ourselves to get this done, we have to
Yeah,
remember that maybe our personal storyline is different, but it
exactly.
can
And
happen.
yeah, and a lot of people were reaching out to me whenever I reorganized this Barbie room, because they saw how messy it was prior, because I just moved, everything was on the floor, it was clutter. And a lot of people were like, you already finished? It only took you a month? That would take me 2 years. And I'm like, you got to understand my situation. Like, I don't got any kids at home. I don't have kids at home. I work remotely. So once I clock off, I'm already in my house. I can go up, work on it, take my lunch break, work on it, stay up late at night, work on it. I was like, don't, take it one day at a time. Don't compare your progress to what I did,
Mhm.
because I've got no other distractions or
I love that.
commitments, I should say.
And I think that's like the whole thing is like you said, not comparing your progress, but being able to, be proud of the accomplishments and progress that you make within your own personal hobby because it's not a competition. It's just for us to be able to play and enjoy ourselves and get away from the stress of life and responsibilities of life. I do
Exactly.
have to ask, how did you get started
With which
with
part?
this account, with the whole, with being able to post with the doll community and I imagine, I don't know for sure, were you already collecting prior to, or did you begin collecting once your account got started?
So I've always been a collector. It's never really stopped. It's just my collection has transitioned from different things to other things. So with
Mhm.
Barbie specific, so when I first started collecting, again with toys and dedicating an entire room to toys, it wasn't just Barbie. It was basically me trying to recollect all of the stuff from my childhood that brought me happiness.
Yeah.
So, Rainbow Bright, Cabbage Patch, Moon Dreamers, My Little Pony, Barbie. And then my love for Barbie just kept increasing, increasing. I was just finding so much of it that it started taking over the room. So I had to decide, okay, do I want to keep sharing space with Rainbow Bright and My Little Pony, or I could actually just make this entirely Barbie, because that's what I'm having the most fun with right now. And so she slowly took over, but I started like getting all of this cool stuff 7 years ago.
Oh, wow. And then you just decided, like, how did you decide to join the Instagram doll community?
So, I've been following accounts like this for many years. Back when I was like 2012, 2013,
Oh,
I
wow.
was following different Barbie accounts, but I didn't collect Barbie at the time. I was collecting like anime stuff. I was collecting um, a lot of Japanese dolls because I was living in Japan, so Barbie wasn't even accessible over there. So, yeah, I was collecting Jenny dolls and Lika dolls and Blythe dolls and pull-up dolls. And I started following Barbie accounts, and I was like, oh my God, I miss that stuff so bad. And then when I moved back to the United States, that's when I slowly started getting like few Barbies here and there, and then it took over.
Oh wow, that is so cool.
Uh,
Well, that also explains to me when you like express your love for other dolls, like the Jenny dolls and stuff. For me, following you, being able to understand where that love comes from.
mhm.
That's like it's very exciting to be able to be in Japan. How was that?
It was awesome. I was very sad when we had to come back. I really wanted to stay there for a whole other tour for another 4 years, but they needed us back in the United States, or my husband, I should say. So we ended up coming back earlier than we anticipated.
I understand. I understand. When we go back and we talk about being in the doll community and taking the fabulous photos that you do and the reels that you make, do you use your camera or do you use your phone?
So I have a camera, but I don't use it. I need something that's quick, easy, accessible. So I just use my phone. It's the quickest thing. I mean, I wouldn't say my photography is like as amazing as some of the other accounts. Like I see like Aaron Malibu. I mean, his stuff looks like it could be in a magazine. I definitely wouldn't compare my iPhoneography to what he does, but I mean, I want to quickly post something. I don't want to do a lot of post editing. I don't want to if it takes that much time, then I probably won't even get joy out of doing it. So,
Understanding.
mine is just something fun, something quick, something easy. Like
But
that's the way I like to do
I believe,
things.
like you said earlier, not to compare it. It's about being able to enjoy what you do, and we're obviously enjoying what you do and how you post it. It's always a delight whenever you have a new post and being able to see what are you doing now? Like, where are you at now? What thrift store are you at?
Right.
I do have to ask you when we talk about thrift stores, since I just brought that up. What got you into going to these swap meets and thrift stores? Was it just your love for vintage or what was it?
I've been thrifting since I was in high school. When I started working when I was 15. And once I started making money and getting a paycheck, my parents pretty much like cut me off when it came to stuff like clothing or like accessories, toiletries, even. I mean, they provide like the basic stuff like toilet paper and like shampoo and stuff. But like if I wanted mousse for my hair, or if I wanted like the apple scented shampoo and not
Yeah,
Per Plus, I was on my own.
I
So
understand. Yeah.
yeah, I decided like, okay, I want to buy cute clothes. I want to be trendy. And the thing with the parents having control of buying my clothing and stuff, I had to buy what they wanted, and I had a different style. So I started working at this music store, and it was a music slash video store. And all my coworkers were in their 20s, so they were all like early 20s, and one of the gals would talk to me about thrifting, and she'd be like, dude, I got like 2 garbage bags full of stuff. And so I was like, man, I need to go to the thrift store. And so she's the one who inspired me to start thrifting. So I began
Oh,
thrifting from a very young age. And even in Japan, I continued that, throughout adulthood. And then when we went to Japan, I was thrifting in Japan. So it was just natural to me that when I came to California, that I was going to seek out the flea market and stuff like that. And that's when I saw all of the toys that I was finding. And I was like, oh my God, how can I leave this behind? This is a doll that I always wanted. It's $5. I'm buying it. And then I became addicted.
I love that she said, "How can I leave it behind? You have to rescue you. You can't just
Oh,
stay here."
yeah.
Now, I
Yeah.
have a wonderful question to ask when it comes to thrifting. And of course, I've gotten some of the dolls that you've had during claim sales, and I love them. In fact, this gal right here is from one of your claim sales,
Oh,
and
that's
I
awesome.
freaking adore her. I saw her, I'm gonna be honest with you. You were showing the photo, and you were like, these dolls are gonna be for sale. And I literally made eye contact with her out of the whole pile, and I was like, yeah, she's coming home with me.
Right.
So I totally get it. And sure enough, I
Hmm.
was able to get her. But I do want to know. I do want to know because we are talking about thrifted dolls. We are talking about dolls that come from estate sales.
Hmm.
Have you ever had any paranormal experiences with these
I
dolls? Like, has anything ever like fallen off a shelf or just something weird?
No, I haven't. And I don't know, like, uh, I thank God that I have not, because I'm very like, I don't mess with that stuff. Like, I mean, I'm not even into like watching like I will watch scary movies. Like my husband likes watching them, but I do it because I love him. Like I That's not something I'm gonna go on my own and go watch. I'm not going with you on a haunted tour. Don't invite me. I'm not interested. I do not want to watch your spirit box video. No, thank you. I don't like inviting any of that type of
Yeah.
stuff into my atmosphere, but thankfully I haven't, experienced any of that. And if I did, I mean, I definitely would, rebuke that in the name of Jesus, because
Yeah.
I don't mess around with that stuff. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like,
thank
this is
God.
like legit because spirits do attach to things, and then when we talk about, like getting something that's thrifted or getting something from an estate sale, and it could be anything. It could be, a sculpture, a doll, clothes, whatever, a poster, and a spirit could be attached. And so that is something that I was curious about. Like, have you had any situations from that? But I'm glad to know and glad to hear that you have not. But I have definitely been in those shoes where gotten a doll before and felt kind of odd about it, gave off some vibes, and I was like, how do you feel about this? I asked my husband, I was like, how do you feel about it? And we
Nope.
had to get rid of a doll. I was like, oh, but it's better than being sorry later on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
Much, much better. Much, much better. So that was one of my questions that I had. I had to find that out. Where do you get your miniatures from? Do you get those from thrift stores as well, or do you get those, fresh off the market?
It just depends on what type of miniature it is. I mean, I'm always looking for miniatures secondhand at swap meets or estate sales and stuff like that. Um, a lot of like my food miniatures I get from Remint. I started collecting Remint when I was in Japan, and Remint was huge over there. So it's so accessible. I could just go to any store and get a Remint box. And I used to get like the full boxes of the full sets. um so that's what I started falling in love with, the food, and I was collecting remnant food before I even started collecting Barbie.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I had a bunch of display cases of just food. So then when I started collecting Barbie, it fit perfectly into Barbie's world. So I am kind of a snob when it comes to food, particularly like the quality and detail on Remit is just like it's top notch. And don't get me wrong, there's brands like Zuru, mini brands and stuff like that that are starting to like really level up the miniature game, but I'm so partial to Remit. Like I am a diehard loyal Remit fan. So if there's a new release that's coming out, I will pre-order it and get that in the mail. But that's my favorite when it comes to miniatures.
I love that. I love that. When you mentioned display, that definitely took my mind to you being displayed at, was it a McDonald's museum?
It, it was
And
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So
congratulations on that.
thank you. Yeah, there's a McDonald's museum in San Bernardino, California. And when I moved to California, I was looking up things to do, and that popped up, and I was like, oh my God, I have to go to this. So I drove out to San Bernardino just to go check out the McDonald's museum, and I was in love. Like it was just so cool. And you're not familiar with San Bernardino, it's a very there's nothing there. There's nothing to do there. Like it's one of those places that you just drive through when you're going somewhere else.
Okay.
But for me, that was my entire trip. I was like, I'm going specifically to go to the McDonald's museum. So cool. So overloaded with just like nostalgia, and it was just so fun for me. I spent forever in
Yes.
there. And
Yes.
it's a tiny place. The typical person probably spends maybe 5 minutes in there, and I was there for at least an hour just looking at every little detail. And they collect all the donations from people around the world. And I said I have to donate something here from Japan, because I had gotten so much stuff from McDonald's Japan when I was living over there. So I brought back a plush, huge McDonald's Big Mac plush that I got from a thrift store in Japan, and we donated it. They added it to their display case, and they put my husband and I's name and where we were, like where it came from, which was Okinawa, Japan. And I just thought that was so cool to be a part of, like, their little display cases there.
That is cool. That is cool. You've had your stuff also displayed in other places. I'm trying to remember. Help me
Alamo Draft
here. Help
House.
me here. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because you've had your actual dioramas displayed as well, which I
Hmm.
think is very, very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
So
super
how did
fun.
that come about?
Um, I honestly don't know how she found my information, but oh, actually, she contacted, so the manager of the Alamo Draft House, she wanted to have like a flea market event at the Alamo Draft House. And so she contacted me to see if I wanted to be a vendor. And I told her, sure, I'd love to. And then she said, I actually wanted to ask you if you wanted to display your collection in our cases for the
Oh,
release of the Barbie movie. And I was just like, oh my God, that sounds cool. Yeah, I'm down to do it. And so I did it. I brought the dioramas that I could quickly kind of display there, and it was really fun. A lot of people got a lot of, happy nostalgic
yes.
memories and stuff seeing it, and a lot of people ended up following me on Instagram from it because I was able to put my handle on, the cases and stuff, and it was just really cool to see people like look at it and be like, "Oh my God, look at that!" or "Oh wow, that's a tattoo artist, Barbie." It was really cool.
I love it. I love it. And I love the tattoo diorama. I have three myself. So I totally am into, tattoos within reason and so forth. And I say within reason just like for myself. I think had I not met my husband when I did, I'd probably be like tattered down because I was getting one like every 2 years.
Yeah, they're
So
addicting.
when I saw your display with the tattoo artist, I was like, man, that is so cool. Did you create like all the little miniatures, or were you able to purchase those?
A lot of the stuff that I used for that were from different, like from the flea market, like little random
Oh,
pieces of
wow.
furniture.
Yes.
So when I was gonna do it, I looked through, I have a bin of furniture pieces. And so I was like, what can I use for a tattoo parlor? And obviously like Barbie stuff, Barbie is like very colorful, like pink and stuff like that. And I was like, no, no, no. So I ended up having some Monster High furniture, which I don't even
Oh,
collect Monster High, but it was the perfect aesthetic for the tattoo
yes.
parlor. So I used a lot of stuff like that. And then when I would go to the swap meet, I had like little notes like look for a floor length mirror, look for a dark colored couch, look for uh, you know, a trash can. Like I was looking for specific things. So when I'd go, I'd dig
Mm,
through the piles of toys, and I ended up finding everything I needed at the swap
I
meet.
love it. I love that. I love it. So that's like a note to us whenever we're making and building these dioramas to be able to have our own little checklist so that we can get exactly what we need. Because it's so easy, especially in my case, to get distracted and be like, oh, that's cute. Oh, I want that.
Yeah,
And then you
yeah,
kind of like blow your budget on stuff that was not on the checklist. So
exactly.
definitely staying focused. I love that you said laser focused, staying focused so that you can be able to build the diorama the way that you need to. Do you have any background in building? Like I'm thinking of that
No.
Wu Tang Clan ice cream truck. Like, did you already have a background in that?
So I think that my thing is I'm one of those um delusional people that thinks that they can do anything.
Nothing wrong with
So
that. There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
So like anytime I see something, I'm like, I can do that. Oh,
Very
I can make that.
good.
And that's pretty much how it was with the Wu Tang truck. And that's why it took me 3 times rebuilding it until I got it just right because I don't like following tutorials. I don't like reading directions. I just think, oh, I can just freehand this. And I make things a lot harder for myself than they need to be. But yeah, no experience. I have a
Oh
vision,
wow.
and I am usually very dedicated to something when I have an idea.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Having a vision and staying dedicated, it can give you results. I
Yep.
love that. Now, with your, because you have so many, and I text you, I was like, you have so many different topics and themes in your account that is like really hard to stay on one because there's so much in your account. I love it. When it comes to fashion, I mean, because you're like totally upgrading these dolls from going just like thrift trash, just literally. So I'm like thrift trash, and you restore them. And literally, there's a reel I showed my girls. I can't remember which doll it was. I think it was a Teresa, and she did. She looked pretty trashy, but then you like washed her hair, washed her body, changed up the clothes, got her all together, and it looked like homegirl had a smile on her face when you got done. I was like, oh wow. What is your background or interest in fashion?
You know, when I would say my fashion sense is definitely more rock and roll,
Mm,
kitsch and urban. But with my dolls, like, if you notice, most of my dolls, they're not really, I wouldn't call myself a fashion account. Like, there's definitely some fashion accounts out there that I'm like, oh my God, that's like something you'd see out of Vogue magazine, you know? And sometimes they will like craft it themselves or they purchase from other like doll accounts. Um, Most of the time I'm just using what I have. I use, and honestly the person who has inspired me the most with fashion and styling my
yeah.
dolls is Oh That 80s Boy.
Okay.
Yes. So I've always loved, he was one of the first doll accounts that I followed, and I was just so in love with his content, with his dolls, the way he styled them. And
Yes.
I appreciated that all the stuff that he was buying was thrifted from the flea market. And I actually went to visit him during lockdown because, the flea markets in San Diego where he was from just opened up. And I said, you know what? I got nothing to do. I'm going to go to San Diego. Let's go to the flea market together. And he said,
Okay.
okay. And so I drove to San Diego, which was like 3 hours away from
Oh
where I was living at the
wow.
time. And I went and met with him, and I already had this idea. I was like, I'm going to bring a suitcase of clothes and one of my dolls, and I want him to restyle her the way he would. And it was so awesome to see how his little mind worked with like coming up with an outfit because he picked items from that suitcase of clothes that I would have never thought to put together. And the way he made her look, I was just obsessed. I said, "Oh my God." And he
Wow.
was like, this is the focal point. Like he picked one item. He was like, this is going to be the focal point of the look, and everything else is just it's going to accessorize with it. And he picked shoes. And so he picked the shoes first, and then he started getting different elements that would go with those shoes. And I was like, oh my God, I would have never thought, to do it like this. But ever since that experience with him, it really has helped me. I feel like, I mean, some people may look at my clothing options and be like, that's whack. But he inspired me to look at fashion and putting outfits together in a different way.
Oh my goodness, I definitely don't think it's whack. Me personally, this is my I definitely don't think it's whack. I completely enjoy, what you are illustrating and putting out there. I think of right now the reel that you have where you have your mini me and she's getting dressed and you did it almost like a video game where you can kind of like pick the options and
Hmm.
then you display her wearing the clothes and I think you put your hand on the camera and then boom, there you are on your way to a concert wearing that similar outfit.
Yeah.
So I mean, like you gotta also account for the creativity that you put in there too, because
Yeah.
it all goes together. It's hand in hand, in my opinion. Like I said, for me personally, I enjoy your fashion. I enjoy your style. I enjoy what you put forth with your account.
Well,
I do
thank you.
have a few. Oh, I do. I enjoy it. I do have a few questions because one of the things that we do have in common is a love for diverse music and a love for movies. I saw when you put all the VHS out, and I would have loved to have gotten some VHS. I think right now we currently have like 4 or 5 left because we don't have our VCR anymore. So, you
Yeah.
just keep them for purposes of nostalgia, right? You're like, oh, I'll keep it. But when I saw your titles, I was like, oh my God, I saw that and I saw that. And if you guys missed that VHS, so I think you still have some available. So definitely check that out. It's worth it if you have a VCR. You just want it for nostalgia. But I was like, oh my gosh, we have this in common. I watched that movie. I love this Dumb and Dumber. And isn't it like, come
Yeah.
on. So I wanted to do something I've never done before on here. I wanted to actually just do a few little like quotes and
Okay.
see if you can guess which movie it comes from.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Are you game for it?
I'm down. Yeah,
There you
let's do
go.
it.
There we go. We're down for it. Let's do it. All right. So we're going to get started. I'm not going to say the title. I'm just going to say the part of the movie. All
Okay.
right. Like the line. Come with me and you'll be in a world of imagination.
Uh, Willy Wonka.
Hey, you got it. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. All right. I'm not a Jack anymore. You made me a Joker.
Oh, I'm assuming that's like Batman, but I'm not sure.
You
Okay.
got it. You got it exactly. Okay, here goes like one of my freaking favorites, like ever. Throw me a freaking bone here.
Ah.
Okay, I'll do another one.
Uh,
How do I let them
it's like
know because
that's
of the?
gonna bother me though because I know that one and
Yeah,
I know
you
the guy.
do. You do.
I
I'll give
don't.
you another line from it. I'll give you another
Okay.
line from it. How do I let them know because of the unfreezing process? I have no inner monologue. I hope I didn't just say that out loud just
Is
now.
it Austin Powers? Okay. Throw me a second bone here. I remember the way he said it. I was like, who is that?
I'm being freaking bone here. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, let's see here. This is fun now. This is like literally my first time doing this ever. But because I saw the movies and you're like, I got over 600, I was like, we could do this. We could do this. Yes, we can. All right, here goes another movie. That's another one of my favorites. Caviar should be round and hard and of adequate size, and it should burst in your mouth
Oh
at precisely the
my
right
god.
moment.
Overboard.
Gosh, dang it! I wish I had like a prize for you to get because you tried. All right, here goes another one. Um, baby steps through the office. Baby steps out the door. It works.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Okay, I'll give you another one. Uh, because he's a patient, Faye. Don't you get it? He's a patient. A patient.
I don't know this one.
Baby steps on the bus.
I don't
I'm baby
I,
steps doing the work.
I don't know this one.
Okay,
It doesn't sound
okay,
familiar.
okay. Let me give it to you one more time. Bob, there's an old saying that the best psychiatrist in the world is the one right inside of you.
Nope, I'm lost.
What about Bob?
What about
What about Bob?
Bob? Damn. And I've watched that so many times. Like the puppet scene, I just thought was crazy.
Like, could we dissect that movie? Who was really going
Yeah.
through
I'm
psychiatric
gonna,
issues? Was it Bob or was it the psychiatrist?
I have to rewatch it now. But I remember I've seen that movie so many times. Like
Love it.
literally so many. I can't believe I didn't guess that one.
That's okay. That's okay. I got some more. I'm gonna have to like create a certificate or something because you're doing good. Okay, how about this one? Abba Zaba, you're my only friend.
Half baked.
I put a little check mark. All right. Man, I would have to be a low life to go rooting around in somebody else's private property.
Ooh. I'll need
Okay,
another
I'll give you
quote for
another
that one.
one. I'll give you another one. Hey, I guess they're right. Senior citizens, although slow and dangerous behind the wheel, can still serve a purpose. I'll be right back. Don't you go dying on me. I
Nope.
got robbed by a sweet old lady on a motorized cart. I didn't even see it coming.
Dang, I don't know this one.
Dude, because you had two
Okay.
VHS of it. I know
It's
you.
just
Okay,
not, it must be a movie I haven't seen in a long time.
okay, you probably have it. Dumb and Dumber.
Ah,
Ah,
okay.
yeah.
Dumb and
There you go.
Dumber.
There you go. Okay, let me get one. Oh. I just got two more.
Okay.
These are like really, because I was totally shocked because there's not that many people that know about this movie. And when I saw it on on your cell, I was like, heck no, that is phenomenal. All right, so here goes the movie. That's a charming suggestion, but I'm afraid I cling to the old motto, he travels fastest who travels alone. Perhaps you've not heard of it. Good night.
Nope.
One line. Then the other line She's speaking and she says, New York, I don't want to go. I shall hate it. I shall be miserable.
Nope.
I
And
want
see,
you
here's
to
the thing
get rid
too.
of all these things. And she says, these are Mrs. De Winter's things. And she says, I'm Mrs. De Winter's now. Does
Dang, I
anybody know
didn't
it?
know it.
Oh,
You know why? No,
oh
because I have a ton of VHS, but some of them I've never even seen
my
before. Like I
gosh, you've
buy
got to
them.
see Rebecca. You have to. You have not seen it. It is such a classic. They came out with like a newer Rebecca. I wasn't really feeling that one. I
Oh,
felt like,
Rebecca,
yeah,
Mrs. Winters. That was the clue that I should have got, Mrs. Winters. Okay.
yes. Wasn't Danny crazy? Oh my God.
Yeah,
Danny
and I watched the newer version of it first, and then I was
was
like,
okay.
"Oh my gosh!" And I was like, "This is a remake." So then I when I saw the remake at the, or I'm sorry, the original at the swap meet, I bought it, and I did watch the original, but I watched the remake first, and then, but I've only seen it one time.
Oh, you gotta watch it again. You gotta watch it again. The original is so freaking classic. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know if Danny was like Rebecca's mom or what, but I definitely got that feeling, that vibe, that she was more connected to Rebecca than just being like, her main lady in waiting or whatever. But I was like, yeah, there's some creepy stuff. Danny was so sinister. I love it. I'm an Alfred Hitchcock fan. Alfred Hitchcock directed it, and I was just like, oh my God. So I was tripping about that. And this is my last one. This is my last one. Then we may do some music trivia. And then any questions anyone has, you're more than welcome to ask. But okay, here goes the last one. So, okay, you're probably thinking, is this like a Noxzema commercial or what? But seriously, I actually have a way normal life for a teenage girl. I mean, I get up, I brush my teeth, and I pick out my school clothes.
Clueless.
Yes!
Okay. Yay! I'm back.
Certificate or something because she got it. You got it. It was awesome. I love it. Yeah, I'm a huge movie buff.
Ah,
I am. I love movies. I'm like, I don't know how I got so much other stuff done in life. Somehow I found time to sit down and watch TV too.
well, that's the thing too. Like I watch the same movies over and over and over and over and over. So like some movies I'll only watch like one time and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good. I've seen it. And then there's others that I just don't ever get tired of that I can just watch like a million times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What movies do you not get tired of that you can just watch over and over, like three
They're
titles?
they're not deep movies. They're usually just like they're definitely not like Oscar worthy movies, but like um I love Fifth Element. I can see that a million times. Like
Yes,
one of my
yes,
all-time favorite
yes,
movies.
yes.
Yeah. So
So
that's a
good.
comfort movie. I love the Kill Bill series. I can also watch that a million times. Um, Definitely a sci-fi geek. So sci-fi is usually like my top genre. I'm always like wanting to watch the latest sci-fi movie.
I totally dig that. I totally did it. But yeah, when you brought the Fifth Element, oh my gosh, like my husband and I, we like to dissect movies, right? And we look at it and we're like, maybe they should have gotten this person to act in this role and this and that. But that movie, like, perfect ingredients,
Mm-hmm.
amazing cast. Chris Tucker was phenomenal. I mean, we needed. I love almost anything Bill, that. Oh my gosh, how did his name escape me that quick? Bruce Willis. Anything Bruce Willis plays in, like from the time. What was it like? It wasn't Honeymooners. It was a series he was in when we were really
Moonlight.
young. Yes. Oh my gosh. Was
Yeah.
he not great yet? Like I love him as an actor. I'm sad that we're not going to be able to really see him play any roles anymore since he's had to retire. He was kind of like forced into retirement with his health. But
Yeah.
I mean that movie. And then when you get into the Blue Lady, the opera singer, I can't tell you how many times I like played that track over and over again. So yeah, forget if it's Oscar winner or not. It's like what brings you happiness, and that movie brings happiness.
Yeah,
Someone
totally.
said Jeffrey Tambor. That is a good one. But I love Goldie Hawn too. So like when I
Yes.
saw the overboard, yes, yes,
Yeah.
Goldie Hawn. Just like the faces that she makes is just such a cutie, and her roles are always like she puts her all into it. Like I said, I could talk about movies all
Mm-hmm.
day. But now I want to transition to music before we leave because I'm so interested in like your vibe of music because you always have different music with your reels. What is your interest interest in music? Like, where do you get your interest?
It just depends. I feel like with reels specifically, I can be very particular about what type of song I want to place with the video. Like, I don't know, a lot of times I don't even really get a lot of music attached to the reels that have words in it. I do a lot of instrumental. Or if I am picking a
Yeah.
popular song that does have lyrics and stuff, I don't do a clip that will have too much lyrics going on. Maybe a more instrumental portion of the song
Yeah.
or the very beginning of the song before it gets too complicated, because I don't want it to be too complex to where it's distracting from the actual clip you're watching.
Yes. Yes, I'm totally there. In fact, I can't think of when, but recently I had spoke about music and being able to use the instruments, or like you said, the beginning portion of that song. For me, background wise, I used to have plays prior to COVID, etc. And every time whenever we had plays, or you're doing like the introduction of like like a new cast member, or just having some music to vibe with the element of the play, always using the instrumentals, or using jazz or blues or something of that nature, because I love the factor being that the instruments really do vibrate with your own internal organs and how your heart beats. And so, and like you said, if you put something on that's more rap affiliated, you may have like a large portion of people that don't get into rap, and so they hear the rap lyrics and they're just like, ugh, they may not really listen to the
Right,
lyrics itself, but they're just turned off.
right.
So if you do like the very beginning of it, like they're tied in, and then I'm like, huh, what song is that? Then they can seek it out themselves.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and I feel like that because I'm that way whenever I watch people's reels or when I watch people's stories, even. Like, recently I had posted a rant on my stories about people that are playing Chapel Roan right now. And I know there's a ton of people that like love, I think that's how she says her name, Chapel Roan, that love her music. She's like super hot right now, trending, and I'm so sick to death of hearing her Pink Pony Club and Hot to Go song that
Mhm.
anytime I hear it on a story or a reel, I'm just like skip, 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 because I just can't. I can't hear
Yeah.
that song anymore. And that's the thing too with songs, like they're trendy,
Yeah.
and they get played out really quickly. And I try not to utilize stuff like that whenever I'm creating. I, a lot of times when I do like reels and stuff, and I know it's not that deep. I know people aren't going back to my account and rewatching the same movie or video again over and over, but I kind of want something that's a little bit more timeless and not something that's just like in the moment, if that makes sense.
Yes, I totally get it. I totally get it. And I'm in that same boat with you. I don't really go for the trendy songs, only because I want to do something that feels good for me and that speaks for my story and for my characters and what they're going through. If it's a drama situation or if it's a lighthearted situation or whatever post that I'm putting out there, I want it to be something that's impactful for me as the creator, and hopefully it speaks to other people. But I feel like just putting out something because it's trendy, and like you said, it doesn't last that long. Like this is like we had what, the espresso song for a bit, and you were
Mm-hmm.
hearing that on everybody's story and everybody's post, and then it's something else different. So it's just in that moment, and then it does change up, and then you are like almost chasing after what's new, what's
Right,
next, versus just being able to create what's good for you.
right.
So I agree with you on that. I totally do. But I do want to close out with a little movie or music trivia. We already did movies, so I do want to talk about music because I love what you got
All right.
going on with your music.
Hopefully, you're not
All right.
asking me album names or songs
No, oh
because
my gosh, no,
I'll
because I don't
tell you
remember that either.
right now, I'm not good at that.
No, I
I'll
don't
have to
even
sing
know
it
if
to
you're
you.
gonna finish off the verse. Like, okay, an example would be, she's my.
Cherry pie.
There you go. Hey! Anybody asking us warrants, okay? From Cherry Pie. All right, let's think of this one. And there's nowhere in the world I'd rather be than in my room.
Mm.
Dreaming.
Oh,
I know that you know this one because you have like 3 or 4 of this particular doll. I think you even got to reroute it
you're
before to look
talking about
like
Selena, right? Okay. Because
I couldn't get
you
her
know,
beat.
like
Okay, I am not
I'm
a
like
singer.
trying
I can
to
dance,
visualize the
but
lyrics, and I'm like, I'm
yeah,
seeing
there's
it in my
nowhere I
head,
can do.
and I'm
And
like,
then
okay, this
in
has
the
to be
world,
Selena.
or there's nowhere in the world I'd rather be than in my room dreaming about you and me. Yeah, 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 definitely Selena. And if you guys have not checked out her Selena dolls, you need to because oh my goodness, especially like the ones you got rerouted, so beautiful. And the last one that you just showed, who got rerouted, she has Selena vibes.
Yeah,
Very beautiful. I
Cosmo
love
the
it.
Doll resurrected her
And
from the
it's on
ashes
here.
because she was a bald-headed hot mess, and he just like gave her new life.
He really did. Oh my goodness. I mean, I saw her, like, when I went to Instagram, opened up the page and I saw your post. I was like, oh my gosh, like she's stunning. And she definitely was giving all kinds of Selena vibes. So I love it. I love it. All right, here we go. Next one. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
Is that Little Kim?
No, but I love Lil Kim.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
Okay, but
know.
don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my peers, putting suckers in fear.
Damn. I don't know who that
L.
is.
Cool J.
Oh,
LL
oh,
Cool J.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, I think I even like saw that on like one of your posts. I'm pulling from what you got. Because I was like, she knows this. She knows
Well,
this.
it's the way that you
Because
wrapped
I
it.
don't have the singing
No, no,
voice. The
no,
rap
no. But the
voice.
way you wrapped it in the lyrics, that I was like, that sounds like something Kim would totally say. It's got to be Kim, right?
Right? No, right. I know. I know. I gotta get this rapping thing together. My
No, it
husband's a
sounded
former
good.
rapper, so
I mean, that's why I was like, oh, that maybe that's Little Kim. It sounds like Kim.
see,
Kim
like,
would say something
after
like
this
that.
live, I'm gonna have to put some Lil Kim on because I haven't heard Lil Kim in a long time, and you keep bringing her up. Like I was such now I got to give like a quick little story because I was such an avid Lil Kim, you know, music listener, whatever the case is. I had a hat, like it was my favorite freaking cap. I lost it at the lake. And it had an owl, and it was like how many licks. And I just loved that cap because it
Wow.
reminded me it was like the commercial. You remember the commercial with the
Yeah.
owl where it's
Yeah.
like, how many liquids it takes to get? Yeah, so it was a reminder of the nostalgia of the commercial, but also Lil Kim was real hot back then, and it was like
Hmm.
I felt like it was like a nerd being popular, so it felt good.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, 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 I got something that's up to date. I got a little Kim hat in a way,
That's
but yeah, I'm
awesome.
gonna have to listen to some Kim when we get off. All right, here goes another one. Do you want an easy one or a hard one?
You know what? I'm gonna say go with the easy one on this, so I don't embarrass myself.
You're not embarrassing yourself. It's fine. It's just fun. I've been staring at the edge of the water long as I can remember.
No.
Never
Oh.
why. The Moana song. The Moana from Disney. Have
Oh.
you seen Moana?
I've never seen Moana. You know what? I'm gonna say something controversial, but I'm not a huge Disney fan.
Wow.
Yeah.
No problem. Hey, that is no problem. I'm not even mad about it. I am not mad about it at all. So don't look for me to be like,
Just
oh my God, that's horrible. It's okay if
yeah,
you're not a Disney fan. I
yeah.
mean,
I
it's all
mean,
different.
honestly, just like the classics, like from when I was an actual child, are the ones that I've seen. But like a lot of the new ones, I haven't even watched.
That's not a
So
problem. That's not a problem at all. I mean, like the animation's different. They're using CGI and some of the storylines are definitely recycled from past.
yeah.
So I can't get mad at you at all. But because we have a household full of 10 kids from 3 all the way to the age of 15, I see a lot of this.
Oh, I'm sure.
A lot. A lot. Like my husband and I have to like tear away time to be able to watch something that's rated R. And even then we have to still be cautious because kids are like walking back and forth, going to the bathroom, going here, going there. It's like, dang, gonna turn this off.
That's funny.
So yeah, I can't get mad at it at all. Okay. All right. I've got one somewhere that I'm pretty sure that you will know. What? Okay. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there with open arms and open eyes. Yeah. Whatever tomorrow
Ah,
brings, I'll
yeah, yeah.
be there. Yeah. Open arms
Uh, it's a
and
boy band,
open.
but I don't
Yeah.
know which one. I
Drive.
don't. I
Yeah. Well, wait. It's Incubus.
oh wait, no, no, no,
Is it
no, 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 no. I'm
Incubus?
so
Yeah.
sorry.
Incubus.
Yeah, that's yeah, yeah, yeah. Incubus.
Yeah. No, don't hold this against him. She had no clue that we were
I
going to
was
do
like, yeah, I was
trivia.
like, wait a second, is that Backstreet Boys? No, that's not.
I just saw your like collection of music. I was like, we're doing this, man. We're doing this. We're going to talk about music and movies.
Isn't it crazy though? Like when you like just see lyrics, or if it's sung, and it's very hard to identify.
I
You
know,
know,
right?
like it really is. But yeah,
Make me feel good about
gosh,
it. Make me feel good about it because I didn't get a chance to present it in sing form. So
yeah. You know, I think if it was like an instrumental, I'd be like, oh, I know who this, and
oh
maybe
man,
not. You know,
I would totally have done an instrumental, but Instagram will flag
that's,
us.
that's true.
Social media will
That's
flag us. They'll be like, "Oh, you don't have the rights
true.
to that song," and you're right. And in fact, everything that's been spoken of, I do not have the rights over. Let me put that as a disclaimer.
I
Just
feel like such
we're
a
just
nerd
going
too,
to.
because I just saw Incubus last year at a concert, and you would think that I would have guessed that right away.
How was it?
I told you the music one was gonna be tougher for me.
Oh, oh my gosh, you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Like right now, if we went to one of your cassette players, like what do you have in your cassette? Like what tape do you have in there?
You know what? I don't. I was just listening to a cassette recently, but I don't remember which one I listened to last. My music taste is so diverse. I mean,
Yeah.
my parents, I grew up listening to soul and
Mm,
funk. My dad was very much into, Al Green, Earth, Wind, and
yeah.
Fire. So that's the stuff that I grew up listening to. Was a lot of soul, a lot of funk, a lot of groovy stuff you could, a lot of
Yeah.
disco. My mom was really into disco, so I started listening to all that stuff as a young child. Like the song I remember, I can recall hearing all the time on because they had a reel to reel. And if y'all are young folk watching this, y'all have to Google what a reel to reel is because you probably don't know. But my dad
Yeah.
was loving Al Green. So I grew up listening to Al Green, Otis Redding all the time in my house, and I still to this day just absolutely love both of those artists. And but I like a lot of funky music, I like a lot of funk. I love Stevie Wonder. I love
Oh
Al
yeah.
Green. I love Earth, Wind, and Fire. A bunch
Isaac
of old
Hayes.
school.
That band. Come on now. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So that's where I got into all that. And then whenever I started finding my own music taste, as a child, of course, I was in the 80s. So I listened to a lot of 80s music, Madonna, Paula Abdul. I remember vaguely that I called a 1-900 number to talk to Paula Abdul. And my mom got really upset with me because I ran up the phone bill because they charged you like 1.99 a minute. And it was just like a recording of Paula Abdul. And I thought I was really talking to her. But
That's
so
a good one.
yeah, and then when I was in elementary school, I started getting into R&B, and later on hip hop.
Yeah.
I remember I got in trouble actually in second grade because one of my friends at school, she let me have a cassette tape, and it was too short. And
Oh,
so I came home and I was listening to Too Short on my boombox, and I was like probably 7 or 8, and my mom was like, "What are you listening to?" And I said, my friend Kimberly gave me this." And she got so pissed at me. I mean, I didn't know what she was
yeah.
talking about, but I remember I had to give it back to Kimberly the next day at school. But so yeah, my music taste is very diverse. I mean, I listen to jazz, I listen to Tejano, I listen to heavy metal, I listen
Yes.
to drum and bass. I mean, a little
Yes.
bit of everything.
Yes, yes. And I feel that having a diverse background with music and just embracing all the different tunes and funks and whatever, beats are out there, it just helps you mindset wise, it helps you with your creativity. It helps you to be able, whatever your creative direction is, your creative path is, being able to listen to music helps you to really expand and explore who you are as an individual and to connect with people. Because, like I said, me hearing the different music that you have in your stories and your reels, I'm like, oh my God, I know that music, or I heard that song, or I need to go check that one out. It helps you to connect with people that otherwise you may not connect with. So
Yeah.
I really do applaud you for, just allowing yourself to just feel the vibe of music within itself and just being that vessel to be able to do that. I think that's awesome. So guys, we do not have as much time because you have somewhere to go, princess. Let's do
Yeah.
any quick questions. If you don't, then we will be closing on out. Do you have anything that you wanted to ask me or anything of that nature?
Well, how did you get started with dolls and what inspired you to join Dollstagram?
Oh, I love it. Well, I was a Barbie girl from, when I was young. And like you, I was an only child as well. So I was just an easy person to buy, gifts for birthdays and Christmas and so forth. Loved Barbies, set them down. I always kept like a little bit of dolls. I had like a box full of dolls, which they're probably ruined now because I talk about this horrible situation took place with mice in our closet area, our attic area. So yeah, lost those, unfortunately. Those are like the childhood dolls. And I really hadn't thought about them. And our we have three girls, but before we had our third girl, because she's a twin, she has a brother. But before she and he came, we just had our two girls, and they really wanted to do more with dolls. And of course, they were watching my Froggy stuff, and they were like, "We want to do this, we want to do that." And I just really didn't have the time. And at that particular era of my life, I was trying to really push my books because I'm an indie author. So I was doing book signings, and I was doing this and that. And my husband and we had our open mics as comedians. And so we were just really busy. So it was just like, I can't fit in dolls at the time. And of course, COVID happened. They had the pandemic, and they approached daddy. They can't get a yes out of mom. Approach dad. So they approached dad and was like, "We want to make this, and we want mom to help." And then he came and spoke to me, and it just felt like, why not? Everything else was shut down. Let's go ahead and get started on doing something fun. And then as soon as I posted the pictures that we took onto my Instagram page for writing, that was for my page is an indie author. I put hashtag dolls, and boom, like this whole community came up that I wasn't expecting. And I literally took the page that I had for my hair because I had my locks at the time. And I was just like, I'm not doing anything with this page. It was completely empty. I said, why don't we just post pictures on there? So I really started off just me spending time with the girls. But then, of course, being an adult and having different themes that I wanted to carry out, and then it felt more like my own private time. I ended up like excluding them from it, and it just became my
Oh,
thing. So they still help me with stuff, but I'm not gonna lie, it's like it's all mom right now. I'm like, oh, I got this storyline right here, but I do still like consult with them and ask them questions and so forth. But some of it is just like way too mature to involve them in. But yeah, that's really how I started, just with them
that's
asking
awesome.
and wanting to, do more with their own dolls and being able to post it. I blame my Froggy stuff for inspiring them.
Hmm. She's amazing.
She
She's
really
amazing.
is. She really is. She really, really is. So, guys, if you don't have any questions or anything, thank you for asking it too. We're going to go ahead and cut this out because, like I said, you do have somewhere that you need to go. And I thank you. And I appreciate you so much for one, sharing your awesome, amazing account with us all. I really do value you and appreciate your work. And like I said, I am a fan of your page.
Well, thank you. I'm super stoked that we got to work this out. Thank you for being so patient with me to get this room set up. I wanted to do it right away, but I was like, my mind's not going to be in it 100% until this room is complete. Like, I need
I
to get
get
my
it.
room done, and then I'm so down to do a chat with you. So
I
thank you for
totally get
waiting
it.
for me.
No, thank you. And I hope that we're able to do this again. I know maybe next time we could do like a room tour because your room is completely
I'd
fabulous.
be
I
down
need
for
to get
that.
into but when you said just really, really like a PS to this conversation. When you had stated that you worked at a record shop, I can totally see how you have the record shop diorama now. Like
Hmm.
I see that aspect, like you brought that up. I was like, oh, okay, now I get where that came from. But I love that record shop. And then like the whole like thriller jacket and stuff. It's just I love your page. I
Thank
do. I love your page. And I'd say just keep making the creative reels that you do the way that you do it and just, enjoy the play.
Thank you so much. Hopefully, I'll create some more stuff in the future. I definitely have some ideas, and right now that I'm not really shopping as heavily, I'm actually playing with my dolls more. And, I miss that. I miss being able to create actual content and not just all the thrifting hauls all the time?
Yeah. 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 I totally get that. I do. I do. I do. We're enjoying it. We are. All right, lady. Well, I appreciate you so much.
Yes,
You
thank
guys have an awesome
you.
evening today. Thank you as well. I will say PSS, right? Or is it PPS? There we go, right? I have learned new terms from you, such as zaddy.
Oh.
Okay.
Awesome.
Never heard of it before. I was like, oh, so that's what my hobby is. He's my zaddy.
Make sure to
Okay.
use it in a sentence at least once a day.
Yes, yes, yes. So I thank you for like just bringing us a whole new terminology because it does get used. I want to let you know that it does get used. To
That's
everybody who
awesome.
joined, thank you so much for joining as well. We hope that this has been inspiring. Keep on creating and just do it. That's one of the things that I got from you was that no matter what's going on, to go ahead and enjoy the play and do it.
Yep.
All right, sis.
It's been
I'll talk to
a
you later.
pleasure.
It
Thank
was a
you.
pleasure.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.